Hello everyone, it's BuzzRail96 here, and welcome to another Train Sim World 4 news video. Today Dovetail Games have revealed more details that concerns the next piece of content coming to the game, and that is of course the London Overground Goblin line. A release date has been revealed, including the price, and we'll also touch a little bit on the history of the route and what you can expect as far as gameplay is concerned. So the route will be available for customers on the 19th of March 2024 for all platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, be it Epic Games and Steam. It will cost £24.99, €29.99 and $29.99. So a little bit about the history of the route. This route is over 150 years in the making. The Gospel Oak to Barking line was constructed through the means of multiple companies building adjacent lines. As links, junctions and various termini were built and changed, this meandering route, though no less than 7 of North and East London's boroughs, took shape as a vital strategic railway. Once it marked foreclosure and allowed to be run down into disarray, Transport for London took the line under their wing alongside other routes in 2007, when London Overground was launched to transform them into lines fit for purpose. State-of-the-art throughout, the line from Gospel Oak is now an electrified, high-density passenger route, making use of the brand-new BR Class 710 Adventurer, whilst also still leaving space for freight as part of the national rail network. Having spent years with an avid community following, the route became effectively known as the Goblin. But from February this year, 2024, it was announced that the route would be known as the Suffragette line, or however you say it correctly, as part of Transport for London's plans to name all of the London Overground routes to make the route easier for customers to navigate. I think it makes it more confusing, but there you go. That's just my view. Once rebranding is completed later this year, it will be known as the Suffragette Line, in recognition of how the early 20th century working class movement in the East End of London paved the way for women's rights, empowering women to have a significant impact on society in the past, present, and will continue to do so in the future. The in-game route itself has scenery that represents the built-up area around this part of North London, including dense collections of residential buildings and lighting that recreates the suburban atmosphere after the sun has gone down. A dedicated team of route builders have put a lot of effort into unique scenery assets on the route, which you should do, Dovetail, on every route you bloody release, including the two distinctive stations at Barking and Barking Riverside. The former being a large interchange station for other London lines, and the latter being a brand new station in the anticipation of the Riverside development that is under construction. As well as the standard route maps, the Dovetail's route builders have apparently had a lot of fun hiding 25 goblins around the route. That's part of their little collection of things to find and see, in reference to the informal name given to this line by locals and enthusiasts. Some of these have been placed in some difficult locations to find, making them a little more challenging than typical route collectibles. Now, one of the latest trains in Transport for London's fleet comes to Train Sim World for the first time, in the form of the Class 710 Adventurer. Launched in 2019, these sleek and modern electric multiple units replace older machines and have variants running under other operations throughout Greater London, including the Class 345 units on the Elizabeth line. In the game, the interiors will be familiar to London commuters and tourists alike, with relevant signage and passenger information displays, as well as the distinctive modern maquette seating as well. In the cab, the experience is very much dominated by the use of screens with no analog dials in sight. Players looking for the window blinds will need to find the button for it, as these are operated by a switch rather than by hand. Like the Thameslink Class 700 Loco add-on, the Class 710 supports dual voltage functionality for use on routes with third rail electricity in the free roam mode. Due to the way in which the game treats third and fourth rail power in Train Sim World, compatible add-ons such as the Bakerloo line, for example, players wanting to drive the Class 710 on that route will need to enable the scenario planners off the rails mode. Now, as far as service layers and gameplay is concerned, up to 4 trains per hour run along this line between Gospel Oak and Barking Riverside, resulting in 154 playable services for the Class 710, in and amongst a total of over 1,000 services when factoring in AI and layers from other pieces of content. Timekeeping will be important throughout each service run, and will have various stopping points, with trains fitting snug into the length of some very tight platforms. Freight services will be available to the vast majority of train symbol players, as these will layer in the form of the East Coast Main Line Class 66 and FKA wagons. Though other Class 66 variants will be available to select for those that own those ridiculous, ugly, shitty gameplay packs, or cash grab packs as I call them. Additional freight using other forms of rolling stock will also layer in, such as those from Southeastern High Speed, for example. Other playable service layers include the railhead treatment trains, as well as both diesel and steam rail tour services from other Train Sim World add-ons. Between Crouch End and Haringey, the line crosses the East Coast Main Line, where players will glimpse passing LNER Class 801 Azuma services in the form of AI traffic, utilising the full East Coast Main Line timetable. Other AI services present include the Thameslink Class 700, the Flying Scotsman, a 1938 tube stock rail tour, which will be available for players to see as AI services with the relevant content. There are also some sneaky Easter egg AI services that players may spot throughout the route, similar to those found on Southeastern High Speed. The majority of AI traffic is formed of additional Class 710 London Overground services, utilising parts of other Overground lines that run under, over, or join with the Gospel Oak to Barking line. This includes a short section of the Lee Valley Chestnut to Enfield Town line that crosses perpendicular to the Suffragette line between South Tottenham and Black Horse Road. I hope the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is included as scenery in the distance. Please, Dovetail. Would be nice, as I am a Spurs fan after all. Scenarios, they are centred around various special events throughout the year, with players having to negotiate specific operations for Halloween and Bonfire Night, as well as busy football fixtures and weather-related disruption. And there you are. That concludes this news video. If you'd enjoyed it, then feel free to give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you would do so. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.